Gotta get it good. Setting up. Then I gotta click done there. I'm gonna go live there. And I believe we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Gracious,
Yeah.
yeah, baby. Gracious 2 back again to episode 16. Merry Christmas to all. Hope everybody had a wonderful, wonderful Christmas. If you're still partaking in the festivities, more power to you. What up, Chad?
What up, John?
Chilling.
Merry Christmas. Yeah, we're moving into New Year now. We got to New Year's Eve coming up.
Yeah.
Great time of year.
I was thinking we should do like I'll have to remember this next year while the time's rolling on to do like different gracious 2 gear for the holidays. You know what I'm saying? Like have some Christmas stuff, have some New Year's stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Some
Yeah.
ugly Christmas sweaters. Got to do those.
Yes, exactly. Some ugly Christmas sweaters. So happy Kwanzaa, right? Today's Kwanzaa, I believe.
That's right. That's what they say.
So they say. We do have a cool guest on. I think I'm pronouncing his name correct. Bob Zazzera, a very big fan of live and of yours. Been around since the beginning.
Yes, I know Bob well. We actually text back and forth sometimes. Him, Bill, and I. And yeah, Bob is a longtime fan, vast knowledge. He has a huge database of recordings and all kinds of stuff. So yeah.
Which is cool. I think it was him who just released a 1998 Chameleon Club by you guys. I don't know if he shot it, but he put it up on YouTube, and it's the video and sound aren't the best, but what a great concert, man. New City was a song that was played there that
So
I don't think is on anything else out there.
yeah, that was a B side, I think, to Secret Samadhi, or maybe no, that would be a B side to Distance to Hear. They
Ah,
didn't put on. Yeah,
bunch of cool in there. You had Change in there, New City, a couple different lyrics and stuff, the stuff that did end up on the Distance to Hear. So it was definitely cool to hear. Just wish it was better quality.
yeah. So that would have been a show where we were trying out new material for Distance to Hear. So that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, those were great shows, those 1998 shows.
But we
Um,
used to write songs and then go play them out live and check. Fans loved it. It was fun to try the stuff out on the live audience. And when you play a song, you write a song and then you play it live, it takes on sometimes a different vibe, or you do different stuff,
right.
or you can get more intensity out of it. And so that was our process at the time, but we stopped doing that.
Well, it was a great process. I
I
um
agree.
I don't know if you guys did this, but I know Pearl Jam was doing it for a while where they like recorded every concert they did, I guess through their soundboard, and then like they released it like in a cardboard package or anything. But I know you guys didn't release anything like that. But did you
Yeah.
record your stuff, like all your soundboard stuff, or no? Just kind of.
We have over the years, not all of it, but yeah, there's sometimes we recorded it. Yeah, that was Pearl Jam was releasing their own bootlegs. It was freaking cool.
It was very cool. It was like
Yeah.
getting ahead of the bootleggers because they're making money off of your backs.
Right. Yeah. They ruined the whole bootleg for them anyway. Now it doesn't even matter, but everyone has a
Right.
camera to show. So
Right. Yeah, back in the day, it was like, to do that, it like went against every band's policy and stuff. But now it seems like it's just par for the course and maybe a good way to get some free marketing and free publicity. But you guys,
yeah. Yeah, I mean I agree. Even back in the day, like I don't know like why people were so anti like recording and fucking and taking pictures and all this shit. Like even we were that way, I guess, because we were taught to be that way. I don't know. But just think back on it, like why wouldn't you want to spread the message and the music and the images, as far as they can go? Let people just fucking record and take pictures and just go for it. Like spread the shit around.
you know, I
Ultimately, you're gonna have more people to the show, which is where you know you make money. So if it's
right,
about making money, it's like you want to spread the word more to have more people
right.
come.
Especially for a band like you guys who, not that you're bad on CD, but you're just like the energy in the concert is like fucking bar none. So it would have been good to get that word out so more people went to the shows and whatnot.
I agree. Hindsight's 2020, as they say.
Right. I believe Dave Matthews Band, that's kind of how they got their start. They encouraged, like, before they had record deals and stuff, they were playing like frat houses and stuff, and they encouraged people to record and just kind of spread it out that way. And that's how they got, their following or whatever.
Yeah.
A little ahead of the curve, but I mean, you could see both sides of it. You could see how it gets the word out on your music, but then also what happens if you guys decided to release it and it's already out there, so I could see both sides.
Oh, exactly. And well, bands like Fish and the Grateful Dead, and even Dave Matthews, they would encourage people to come and record, which
Right.
made sense. You'd think everyone should have done that, but whatever.
Like
It's a
you
new
said,
day.
it's 2020.
Or someone once said to me, hindsight's 50-50. Like, yeah, okay, sure.
How does that work? Is it the lower the number, the better your vision, or the higher? I really don't know. Like 2020 is perfect.
Yeah, 2015 is better. Like
Is better.
2015, 2010 is like really fucking amazing.
You see, not only do you guys get cool insight on the band live, but you get insight on this stuff on this.
Ophthalmological advice.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right.
If anybody's wondering why I sound like a train wreck, it's because I have like some kind of mucus membrane just clogging up my whole face. So that's why I sound this way. But came here to put on a show for y'all.
Hey,
So
hey, it's
hey,
pulling
hey,
through.
bear with us. Got a lot of good feedback on last week's show with the Sabos. A
Oh,
lot of,
great. Yes, that was amazing. So great to have them.
I'm still so pumped about that rerouting movie, man. I can't wait to see the full thing after watching that
Yeah.
trailer.
Hopefully they get, some traction at the festivals and they can release it. It's freaking great. I mean, from the trailer anyway, it looks amazing.
Right. I mean, hey, if independents are doing stuff like that, I mean, and let's just say they don't get traction at these festivals, that just shows like that the independent genre is getting really, really good because that looked to me like it was a, full on release by some major studio in my mind.
Sure. Yeah, I
It
agree.
didn't look like no $50,000 budget.
It's amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like Titanic or something that costs like what, like millions to make. Millions.
Exactly. I mean, I mean, the band, we've shot videos that cost like 500 grand, 600 grand, It's like, it was, it's just amazing they did that with $50,000. Our first video was $5,000 for Operation Spirit.
Now, was that the one at where you did two for one video? Was that Operation Spirit or Pain Lies on the Riverside? Because one was filmed at Stone Pony, almost like a live cut of it, and then the other one was like a regular video.
Pain Loss and Riverside, we did two on. We did a regular video and then we did a kind of a live video. We recorded some of it at the Chameleon and maybe Stone Pony as well, but
Uh,
Operation Spirit was all. There's some footage from Chameleon show in Operation Spirit. Mostly it's just us running around fucking, I don't know, the park. And we were in Central Park and we were shot in Sandy Hook, New Jersey on the
oh wow.
beach. Like the fire scene is Sandy Hook, New Jersey on the beach, the
Very.
bonfire. Anyway, so, yeah.
Do you know roughly? Because do you know roughly what the I Alone video cost you guys to shoot?
That was probably one of the more expensive ones for us. So I don't remember off the top of my head,
And really,
but
you're just paying for set, it seems, at that point, because it was a lot of you guys in there. It didn't seem like there was a lot of like CGI or anything like that. It
yeah,
was kind of like the set you were paying for, and they didn't even let you have your drums there.
yeah, you're paying for set and then the director.
Ah, ah.
But yeah, yes, exactly. I had the drums on the set, but then the guy was like, I don't like the drums on the set.
Well, now
I'm
we
like, what the
know.
fuck am I gonna do?
Now we know after you guys get back together after the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to hire the Sabos to do the videos, and we can save some loot.
Hey, Joe, exactly, yes.
The Forever May Not Be Long Enough video, that looked like that could have cost some a pretty penny because not only were there scenes from the movie in there that you might have had the license, but there seemed to be like some really cool backgrounds and stuff like that, or sets seemed to be expensive for that video.
Yeah, I don't know exactly. The record company paid for part of that, but it was in it was together with the movie production. So
Ah,
I don't know if they paid part of the expense or not, but yeah, that was a whole weird deal. So we had Forever Not May Not Be Long Enough. That was part of the Mummy.
right.
Um, there was another song that was supposed to be in the
Deep
first
enough.
Fast and Furious.
Deep enough.
Deep Enough, yep, was supposed to be in the first Fast and Furious, and I guess it was, but like the record company had these three opportunities. Plus, there was Overcome with the whole 9/11 thing.
Right.
Three opportunities to like really promote that record, five, and they squandered all of them. The record companies fucked them all up.
Yeah, because as you're
Two
saying,
major movies and
yes,
fucking, and not that you wanted to profit off of 9/11, but like the Overcome was blowing up as it just naturally started getting played on VH1. Someone put together this video, and we
yep,
were like, let's put it out and like we'll donate all the proceeds to the 9/11 fund or whatever, you know. And they were
right.
like, no, we don't want to do it. Okay, thanks.
It's like you almost then see why the record companies went the way they went when they're making dumb decisions like that, you know?
Yep,
Like
exactly.
like you guys are a heavy marketable band and they totally squandered that time.
Yeah.
Like you said, two major motion pictures plus the Overcome thing, and that was all over. That was not just all over VH1 or MTV. That was all over the radio with
Yeah.
like clips playing in the background and whatnot.
And deep enough, the director wanted to do like a full video with the fucking all the cast and stuff, like a major part of the movie, and they wouldn't do it.
Isn't that amazing?
It's amazing. Drives you crazy.
Yeah. So who is that part of management or is that part of like your manager or is that like the owner of the record company? How does that?
Not the owner. Well, there was no owner. It was Universal at the time, so it was the guy running Universal at the time. I think his name was Jay Bober. He
Ah,
was he came in. He took over. So like the regime that was there for like throwing copper and secret Somali was the one that signed us.
right.
So they had ownership in it and they helped blow us up and like make us successful. And then Jay Boberg took over. I forget what his background was, but he was horrible record company president. So
He
you know,
didn't know how to use you guys.
no, yeah, he
Yeah.
fucked up. Like his promotion of the distance to here was crappy. Like it was just bad. The whole thing.
Yeah, because in my eyes, I mean, the distance to here, I mean, I don't know. I'm guessing it was successful in its own right, but that should have been one of your biggest albums. I mean, there was a lot of real radio friendly songs on there, on top of some nice deep ass tracks on there that, really, touched your core audience as opposed to just, as opposed to just casual listeners.
Sure. Yeah, it was this is a pretty prominent story in the record business, like bands that are successful and then a new regime takes over and
They don't know how to market them.
sometimes they're not making good music, but like I think in our case we were still making good music and but it's just a matter of whether the record company wants to put their weight behind you or not. And
Right, right.
it happens.
I still think, not to jump gears, but Birds of Prey, that number two song, She, is such a rocking song. I would have loved to hear you guys play that in concert, but I don't know if you've ever did or just I missed it, but that is a great, great song, and it seems like it'd be perfect to be somewhere in the live concert set list because it rocks. And it's short.
I'll have to listen to it again, know what song it is.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, 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 for
I
sure.
think I remember what it is, but I have to listen to it. Funny, I listened to on the way here on the flight. I listened to a bunch of tracks on Distance to Here, and then I was listening to Five too on the way here, just to haven't listened to them forever.
That's got to be so cool going back through your catalog and just like checking out songs that you haven't heard in forever or because I you guys do play a lot of the new album in concert, but there are some that you leave out, so there might be some songs that you haven't listened to in 20 plus years or something, so it's got to be cool
Yeah.
to be back.
Oh well, I just yeah. I mean, some of the deeper tracks on Distance to Here and Five I hadn't listened to for a long time.
Yeah,
Obviously, I have to listen to Birds of Prey. But what I noticed from Distance to Here to Five is that that's Ed took over all the writing at that point, and which was fine. There were some great tracks on five.
Sure.
Um, but I noticed that the drums are a lot quieter on on five than they are to here. It's like,
I
wait a minute,
agree.
the
I
fuck?
agree.
I got
And
mixed down.
yeah,
I was
yeah,
shining too much, I guess. I don't know.
maybe. Because like in deep enough, that's a real heavy drum sound, but yeah, maybe it's turned down in the mix or something.
I don't know. It's weird. I was like, yeah, it's noticeably quieter.
Well, I got Mr. Bob about to enter the room. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bob Z. Is it Zazzera Bob? Am I pronouncing that correctly? I talk to him all the time, online, but
Oh,
never.
he'll correct you. He corrects everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
Is he on
Uh,
yet?
Yeah,
he
that's correct.
there
There
you.
it is.
I
There-
believe Bob is going to be off camera. I'm not 100%, but because he's doing stuff, so that might be the case. I'm not sure. Somebody coming up is off camera. I'm not sure if it's Bob or not. But Bob, how are you, sir?
And good, guys. Merry Christmas. Hope it was nice.
Merry Christmas to you. Yeah, I had a great one. Thank you.
Yeah, same here. Same here.
Yeah,
Good.
Family was down. Everything was nice. It was real quiet, real together. And, I was, you know, topped off the day by, I think, watching a little bit of football, but then it was good.
Nice.
It was basically, I want to say,
quiet.
it's been real fast, right? Leading up to Christmas, Thanksgiving was just here, and everything just goes fast at the end of the year.
Oh, hell
That's
yeah.
just me. I don't know if you guys
No.
experience that kind of, the calendar, the dates go fast, and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, end of the year's coming up already. 2024 is here in less than a week, right? So,
It's friggin' wild. I experienced it too. I hear you.
As
So
a
yeah.
I've been told that I have some of your signature cocktail sauce
Oh,
coming to
I
me.
was gonna about to ask, did that arrive yet?
No, Bill has not arrived yet, so it's coming with him.
All right, that's right. I made enough for both you guys
Thank you.
to have, and I know you tried it last year, but I think I hopped it up a little more this year.
Nice.
So
Well, Bill said it rivals St. Elmo's in
that's what he
Indianapolis.
says.
Well, let the audience
So
know what we're talking about here. What kind of sauce do you make there,
all
Bob?
right, so cocktail sauce, right? You put it on whatever shrimp or whatever you want. Dip, ketchup, horseradish. I'm not going to tell you what's in there,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I might have a little post retirement business opportunity there. I
There
might
you
want
go.
to put it into some bottles and maybe sell it, but it's good. I last year I told Bill about it and I said, hey, you might want to try this because I know you like St. Elmo's. And he goes, yeah, your stuff probably can't touch that. And then I brought it over to him last year and everything else went, fine. And then just once I
So St.
seen a bit,
Elmo's. Oh, sorry,
yeah,
Bob. Go ahead.
no, it's okay. So I had I gave him some and he's like, dude, he made a video with one of his girls and he's like, this stuff is unbelievable. Good. I was like, okay, good. Happy to hear it. So I had him bring you some last year and I think you said you liked it. So
Yes, I got some
more
of
on the
those.
way.
Sweet. So St. Elmo's is a very famous, legendary steakhouse in Indianapolis, and they have their cocktail sauce is like the horseradish they use is off the fucking charts hot, but the
Yeah.
cocktail sauce is so good. But like it's very common. You'll take someone new there and they're like they get the shrimp. You have to get the shrimp cocktail, and they get it and they're like they take a big dollop of this shit and you just see them. It's like
There's sinuses
horseradish is
about.
like
Yeah.
boom, yeah. Horseradish is a unique spice because it like gets into your nasal passage. It's kind of like wasabi, but
Very true.
Yes.
yeah,
Yes, very, very, very similar to the wasabi burn right up your nose, into your nasal cavity, into the back of your eyes, and then it goes away real fast, right? So
yeah, but it's intense. Well,
it
you know what's
is.
interesting about wasabi is like 90% of wasabi that you have is not real.
What do you mean?
It's fake. It's fake. It's basically horseradish colored green because
Oh, get the hell.
wasabi is only grown in like one little region in Japan along some fucking creeks, and it's like really hard to grow.
Wow.
So you probably have not had real wasabi in your life.
That's crazy. You're just over there
Interesting.
having green horseradish.
Yes.
Well, hey, they
Wow.
fooled me because I'm over there thinking listen, that's how I eat my sushi. Wasabi, soy sauce, and then ginger on top. I know ginger is supposed to clear the palate, but I just throw it all on there and then munched a nice piece of sushi, and I'm in heaven.
Oh, you would have got kicked out of the sushi Nazi in LA. You would have got kicked the fuck out of there.
I'm sure. I'm sure I
No
will.
Zawa.
So, Bob, are you doing anything for Kwanzaa today?
No,
No.
It's also
I'm not.
I've learned from my Australian friends there's something called Boxing Day, which is what they have down there.
Well, that's like Canada, Chad.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
they have in
they're the
Canada
same.
too? Okay.
Yeah, that's a Canadian thing. That's, I guess, from the British Isles, right? When they spread out everything, some of those traditions of Canada. Yeah, Australia shares the same thing. That's true. So,
Interesting.
and there's a story behind that. I believe it's Boxing Day, and the rumor is it's everything you have to bring back to the store. You box it up and bring it back. But
Oh,
I think
okay.
that's the old wives' tale version of it. What
That
it
makes
means.
sense.
Oh, I thought it was like sport boxing, like where people.
No,
Oh, so they're
no.
Box up
boxing
your
good.
shit day.
Hmm.
Take your stuff back to the store day. But I think I don't believe that's 100% accurate. But that's like what I've been told as a side story from some of my Canadian friends. So it's interesting. But yep, lots of holidays to dig into. But yeah, so I guess with everything, I think I caught some of the stuff when I came on. I was a few minutes late. I heard you guys talking about Five and Birds of Prey, and Chad, I
Yes.
heard you said you were listening to some of that stuff. Did you guys see what I put out in the groups last week?
Yes.
That
That's how we got on the conversation. He talked about that
okay.
98
Wasn't
concert.
sure
Yeah.
if it was that.
Yeah.
So
That's
That's
I
what I
cool.
know
want up,
I didn't
Bob.
see it. I'll have to check it out.
it's a bad recording, right? It's somebody's up in the balcony. It's obstructed
Okay.
most of the time. The sound is good and bad, but it's the whole show of the 6/11/98 show with Chameleon. And I know
Okay.
Jimmy has the videos, right? And he's had some that he put on the Friends Alive website years and years ago that I think you can find on some archive somewhere. But some songs never saw the video, right? Some of those
Mhm.
unreleased things. So that people in the fan base has been clamoring for New City for years and years and years,
Yes.
like the Lost Gem.
Right.
Mhm.
I that's the first time I heard it, right? I never heard it either because I didn't go to those shows. I was working, flying, doing something. I wasn't available. But yeah, I missed those. It would have been good to see. But you get to hear it, and it's really good. But I could see that why it didn't make the cut. It's got a little bit different sound that doesn't go with the distance to hear. So but it's it's in those other ones like Don't Wait and Vine Street,
Unchanged.
those other
Yeah.
ones that have a little bit more rock and tone, but they
Mhm.
didn't fit the flow of the record. But oh well, there's always a first for everything, I guess.
There you
Sure.
go.
Now that video was kind of cool too because the person shooting it, they kind of did like a documentary style as they were going to the concert, which was cool. And that video is perfect. And then
Yeah.
if the person recording gets a little drunk or something, but he starts like recording just like a black background for most of the show. I'm like, what's going on here? Do you have any insight behind that, Bob?
So I know this guy, this filmer. All right, the guy that filmed it is mentioned in the YouTube channel. Now, this guy's website, I don't know if it's the same guy, but I've seen this guy. I saw this guy filming Van Halen in 2015 down in Camden because I went to that show and I saw this guy with a rig. Like he had a backpack and he had a rig in it. And I was like, you know what? I saw his YouTube videos and they were where I was sitting.
Ah,
And I was like, then I saw that he did the Allentown Fairgrounds show in '95, Throwing Copper.
Mm.
That's on his channel. This guy has thousands of bootleg concert videos on his channel. I mean,
Oh wow.
everything from like the late early '90s, late '89, right through today. Like he's still
wow.
filming them. So there's always the guy that tapes it, apparently tapes it, and then this guy edits them or whatever and puts them on the channel.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, if you browse it, you'll find all kinds of stuff. When I was looking at that the other night, I was like, man, this guy's got everything
So
that's
he,
been filmed, mostly East Coast, New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, mostly East Coast stuff since
right.
it's logistically easy to get to so many shows in this area.
Yeah.
So, yep. But
And
that's a little background that I know about it.
he was doing it during the time when it was like heavily frowned upon
Oh
doing.
yeah.
that could be part of the reason why it's, filming whatever at some point, maybe just
and
trying to
and they
hide.
were they were the handheld camcorders of the day. If you remember, you'd be able to sneak them in if you somehow you put a code on. And I snuck stuff into live shows. I'll tell Chad that. I think I told him that in the past. I snuck tape recorder into PNC Art Center once. I've
Nice.
I've done I've done stuff, right, just to say I did it, but it was crappy. But yeah, anyway, it's come a long way now that you
Well,
could just stand there, point and shoot with your phone. And
yeah, exactly.
I use the audio mic, condenser mic, when I did them on the YouTube channel stuff, and it's good. But people frown, people don't frown. It depends on what the band will allow you to do, right? So
Right. Or
Yeah,
the venue
we were
too.
just
The venue.
yeah, we were just talking about this, Bob, about why, like in hindsight, why we even gave a shit if people recorded everything and fucking, it's
yeah,
like nowadays, like everyone, it's encouraged because it can go viral or it can go on people's YouTubes, it just gets spread around
exactly.
everywhere. It's like, why
It's a
didn't we
whole
do
different
that then?
perspective now, right? So
Yeah,
before,
exactly.
proprietary, I don't want new unreleased songs out there. And I'll tell you that when you
Yeah.
guys played Bethlehem Music Fest 2017, I
Hmm.
was there with Rich and Chris and a bunch of the other fans, and you guys did 10,000 cups, right? You did it in the
Oh
sound
yeah.
check,
Right.
right? We heard it. We were standing outside the venue there. We heard it because you guys were sound checking, and then we were there with you guys in the back, and we saw the set list that was on there, but it never got played. So I don't know who nixed it. Was it Ed or was it Taylor that nixed it because it didn't get played? And I don't know if it's because we were there filming or whatever. I don't know,
Nah, I think it's
but
probably Ed. He seemed to like he would mix at the time. It seemed that he would mix like we would put stuff in the set that we were either fucking like in new recordings or like older songs or deeper cut tracks.
yeah,
He would usually mix them during the show because he's like, I don't want to do it right now. It's like okay. So,
okay.
but
Well,
now
it
it's
was
funny because we're not in the band now, and it's like he's playing these great set lists. I guess Zach
Yes.
is in charge of the set list. I'm like, why the fuck did we play this shit in 17, 18, and 19? Like I would have loved to play all that stuff.
yeah. It's always been I guess um how would I characterize it? Who's responsible for that, right? So
It
Well,
yeah,
on
almost seemed
stage it
like
was always Ed. He would be like, "No, we can't play it. Oh, skip it." I'm like, okay.
it
yeah.
almost seemed
Well,
like you thought like casual fans were coming to the show, not like hardcore fans. Like it almost seemed like you thought, fans were coming just for the hits when your fans want to hear everything. It wasn't just hits, especially because somebody like me, I'm sure somebody like Bob, if you guys came to, our area, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, I was hitting up a bunch of shows. So I didn't need to
Yeah.
hear I Alone and All Over You 3 times. I could have we could
yeah.
have traded them in for stage or TBD or some cool shit.
Yeah,
But
I
I hear
that's
you.
that's exactly what I would say is I would prefer to hear something that's not played a lot or something that might be new. And go ahead, Chad. I think you were going to say something. Sorry there.
Oh, I was just I was kind of vamping on that. Like, yeah, it's always seemed to be on stage at least Ed, but and then Chad would put together the set list for the night, and then it would have
Hmm.
something cool in it that we rehearsed or we'd do it a sound check, and then I don't know if it's just show flow or what it was for Ed, but yeah, it's like no, don't skip it. We're on to the next song. Okay, we'd end
Yeah,
up
I
just doing the same
understand
fucking set
when.
every night. I
Yeah,
was like,
I
God damn.
understand the newer stuff, right? If you guys were just if they're in they're still working songs, right? That you
Yeah,
guys would call them working, but they're not the same as when they got released. So John, like when they would put old stuff out, like you would hear some of the early Throwing Copper stuff at the end of the Mental Jewelry tour where they didn't have them fully done, and you heard some a little different arrangements on the songs, right? They're
yeah,
called those working so that they're not the final versions, but they're similar enough. But you'll hear that there's slight differences in the Ed might have a different lyric, or there might be a different bridge fill or that Chad might do, or there's always some little nuance, and all the big fans are like, "Oh, we got to have that version of that song. That's great. Why can't you
yeah,
go and play it like that?" Or me being a longtime fan, and I didn't get a chance to see you guys when you were in Mental Jury or Throwing Copper Tours. I didn't get a
right.
chance. So
Okay.
the first time I saw was Secret Samadhi, and I was like, it was like a year and a half built up and to see that, and I was like, you know what, I can't wait to go to that because it'll be it'll be real for me, just not just hearing it on the record or the radio and the TV, with MTV. But when I saw the first time, I was in a transformed to another place that I don't think I've ever been to at a show, because I felt like I was just standing in the crowd, and just like my body was vibrating. Like you put your finger in a light socket, you would get that cold, the pins and needles would go up on your body.
Oh yeah.
When I heard some of the songs, like, because you guys did, I think you did I don't think you did TBD, but you guys did Gashead Goes West, and I think you
Oh, yeah.
did Grays, and I was like, oh my God, no, that was just the sound. The whole band was so tight then. I mean,
Mhm.
it would rival any band. I thought you guys were the top of your game in Secret Samadhi, and I think a lot of fans felt that version of Live was just powerful enough. A four-piece, right? You guys were a
Yep.
four-piece, and everything was just like, man, that's just so clicked in. You would hear the record, go see them. There's no difference. I was like, man, that's really rare.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we took pride in it too, and being a four piece, and then want to start adding the keyboard player and all this bullshit. I was like, whatever. And I've always wanted to be more rocking in the band, and
Yeah,
we just kind of floated away from that. But yeah, it's interesting.
It seemed
Interesting.
like it seemed like somewhere between, and I think I've heard other fans say this, like, I don't know if it was after 99 or after 2000, Ed almost went like he wasn't using that real graspiness to his voice, like when he would, like yell and stuff. Like he almost made it like a I don't want to say a pussy way of singing for him, but it just wasn't that grit that he once had and that angst in it. Bob, do you know what I'm talking about? Like,
yeah. So let me give you a little background on that. When you guys did the Distance to Here tour in '99, and you were on the East Coast, you played the Tower Theater, and Ed was sick, right? Remember, Ed was very sick, and then
Okay.
you guys canceled a bunch of shows after like November 20th or whatever.
Mm.
And you guys postponed the New Year's Eve show in Hershey because
Oh
he was
yes.
he was
Yes.
really sick.
Mm.
ah,
His voice, I don't think ever was that edgy after that. I don't know if he screwed up his vocal cords, but he sang a lot softer than for several years. And now he's a little bit more
it's
edgier, but
back. Yeah,
not that older mental jewelry voice, because your voice changes. You guys were kids, right? Your voice still
Absolutely.
changes.
Yeah.
So, and that stuff, you put it in a bottle, but I knew that he was having issues with his voice, and
ah,
but that's my take on it. And yeah, but I hear what you're saying about him sounding softer and more pitchy and whatever. Yeah, but there's that's what I think is the reason, but there could be others. I don't know, but that's what I think.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, that probably played into it, but also I think he's just learning how to sing properly as well over those years. And so when it
That's
was,
true.
the early years, he was just singing the way he was. Like people, when you naturally start to sing, you don't support your diaphragm correctly, and you're not supporting your vocal cords correctly, and that can lead to harming them. So I
Okay.
think if I remember correctly, he may have been taking, I don't want to say vocal lessons, but getting lessons on how to breathe
right.
in
Yeah,
that
I
time,
remember
if I
reading
remember
something about
correctly.
that. You
But
know,
well, I just remember I wanted to touch on something going back to the bootleg thing. At some point,
yeah,
Chad Taylor and I, we had this whole conversation during when we were making the Gracious Few stuff about putting out each version of the song as we wrote it, and then like
Ooh,
how it would like mature into what it became on the record.
yeah, they're definitely different. Because
Yeah.
John, I have some of them. They're definitely different.
nice. That
They're
So
would
that
edgier.
would have been very cool. Yeah. So me and Chad and I actually talked about doing that, like putting out each version of the song. Like we wrote it, here it is raw, like the way we fucking put
Yeah,
it together, and then it gets a little
yeah,
mature. But obviously never did that, but it was a good idea.
That's a great idea. I
Yeah.
wonder why. Well, I mean, I'm sure there's logistics on why you guys didn't do that, but I wonder why more bands don't do that. Maybe because
It's
they don't
so
want.
easy to do now. If a band has a YouTube channel, you just like, here, we just wrote this song. Check it out.
Right.
And then, a couple, maybe a week or two or three or whatever, a month later, like, oh, here's how the song sounds now. Now we're going to record
especially
it. This is the actual recording, whatever.
yeah, yeah. That's a
Especially
good point.
especially if you did it with Honest Man, because you went with, it started off Believe with Live, and then it went into Honest Man with The Gracious Few. So to see the transition, that would have been cool from when you guys first had Kevin start to put his spin on it up
Yeah.
until the release of it. That would have been really cool. And I don't think I'd say this often, but that was the first time I was like, whoa, somebody could do something a little bit better than Ed did with it, because I never thought that before. I thought Ed was the man, the myth, the legend. So to have him put his spin on a song, I was like, all right, that's got to be the best it could be. And then you hear Kevin come in with, there's a riot in mind, and then you guys just start jamming on. I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa, dude.
Well, as I said before about that topic, I don't think at that point communication had broken down. We were like about to go our separate ways, and we gave that to Ed. And I mean, like I said, I don't think he put his best effort into it just because he didn't feel like doing it at the time. I don't
Right.
know. That's my opinion, but that could be
And it wasn't all
wrong.
his, like he didn't write it start to finish. He just kind of came in and put melodies and lyrics over it.
Right.
Yeah, but that was a cool song. I saw that you guys played at someplace in Atlantic City, maybe Showboat or something, right before the hiatus in 2009, and you guys played that there, and it was definitely cool. But then to hear the Gracious Few version, I was like, whoa! I
Yeah.
almost put two and two together at first to realize that they were the same song, because even though the core of it's the same, it's a lot different,
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
which was
And we brought it up. So we played it for Kevin. He was like, fuck, that's badass. So, obviously it was the excitement of the new thing and rocking out again. So Kevin
Now,
was
with
into
the
it.
Gracious Few, Chad, I think I heard this. I might be mistaken, but I thought I heard that Chad Taylor like kind of didn't want the responsibility of being like the lead guitarist. He wanted to be more background in this band, but it seems like he really took over the lead guitarist role in that, and really put his heart and soul into it. Do I have that twisted? I thought I remember hearing like he wanted more of like a backseat role in it, and then it just didn't seem to turn out that way.
I mean, Chad is not going to take a back seat, even if he says he's going to. But as far as like solos, he would hand those off to Sean. Like most of the solos were Sean,
Ah,
because Sean is
Well,
Chad's a great guitar player and he does his thing, but he's not an amazing soloist. He's not like a fucking he's not that
a
kind of guy. He's never
shredder.
been that kind of guy. But Sean could play anything at the time. I mean, he was fucking. He's still an amazing guitar player, but he
the good thing about those shows is that Sean and Chad played off each other during the shows, and they where there was a solo that Sean would do, Chad would come in and they would actually duel, right? Some of
yeah,
them were duels, like
yes,
I think it was, what is it? Crying Time had dual souls, and Chad would do an outro solo. It was definitely what you said, John. Mostly, Chad did do, I think, a few more solos in that arrangement than before, in my
Right.
opinion. It, but it was just fantastic stuff. You know,
yeah. And most of those songs were Chad Taylor guitar riff ideas that we fucking wrote to, which are some great
Crying
yeah,
stuff
Time.
on there.
That song I could put on repeat and just listen. I remember the first time I heard it, I was like, wow, that is
Which
a
one?
crying time. It's like
Oh
a
yeah,
slower song on there, but just the lyrics are great. The band sounds awesome behind it. It's just, I remember hearing, I was like, wow, this is a really, really good song. Like,
yeah. Yeah, Kevin wrote that about um, this guy. Oh shit, no, I can't remember his name.
Wendell something.
Wendell, yeah. Thank you. Wendell was from Philadelphia and big fan of the bands, and he was like the doorman at the fucking Sunset Marquee whiskey bar.
wow.
And so that was like the place to be in the 90s and like the 2000s. And he would always let us in because he was a fucking huge fan. Like I'm talking like big Hollywood actors would be in this place and like all the bands would be there, Metallica, like everyone would stay at the Sunset Marquee and go to the whiskey bar. It
Right.
was always a scene. And Wendell was fucking awesome. So he loved Kevin as well. Kevin was pretty good friends with him. And then he hooked up with the bass player from Smashing Pumpkins, Darcy,
Nice.
who got him hooked on Smack, and that's how he died.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Mm.
I went from nice to, oh shit.
yeah. Mhm.
Does
Mm.
Wendell know that
Sad.
song's about him? or did he
Well,
know?
he's dead. So
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean, did he know at the time, or was he gone at
he was
that?
already past that point. Yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah,
Yeah.
Now those lyrics mean so much more to me now that I know what that's about. Wow.
yeah.
It's crying time, but we're still young. Well, that's, yeah, those are deep, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kevin nailed on that one for sure.
Yeah, that
100%.
was a good one. Good one. And so I wanted to go back to you guys were talking about the post distance to here. Well, when you I think we talked, was it 2 weeks ago? You were talking about the bras on the stage story.
Yes.
Yeah, 2 or 3 weeks ago, something like that. Yeah,
I was at that show.
I know you didn't you give me the count via text?
It was I was amazed. I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't normally happen at a live show. But
No, we
SUNY
started getting a couple, and
Cobleskill.
then Ed was like, "Let's fuck it, let's get as many as we
Well,
can."
I don't know if you remember, I was in the front, right at front center, and there was a woman named Susan to my left.
Oh yeah, Susan.
You
Yes,
may remember that fan,
I
and
remember Susan.
she was she had no clothes on.
Oh, of
And
course not, dude. She was not. Whatever happened to Susan after we broke up in 2009? Like she was gone. Like, never seen her again.
I don't know. The last time I think I saw her might have been 2003.
She was literally
Oh yeah,
naked in the crowd.
No, I was with her. I
Susan
went.
would wear Depends to get there and be in the front, and she would wear Depends so she shouldn't have to leave the whole
Right,
time.
Wow.
She would get
right.
there super early, always be in the front, and then have Depends on. Literally, she would wear Depends so she could stand in the front the whole time.
She
God
was
bless.
one of the super groupie
Yeah.
fans, and I think back to what I said. I think the last time I saw her was the Dennis Rodman show at Atlantic City at Taj Mahal. Because that was my birthday, and I was at that show with some friends, and I happened to catch her in the crowd, and
Yeah.
I met Dennis in the bar, which was cool. It was nice,
Was he
but
coming?
there's a lot of memorable stuff, and I can't put the stories like Jimmy Lang can, but I've been to enough shows where I can memorize what happened during the day and what happened during the show or after the show. But at that show in Cobleskill, New York, and that was postponed because of Ed being sick in the fall, right? It was everything was moved,
Oh
and
right. Okay.
it was like freezing. It had to be like 0 degrees out up there in New York State, and I met you guys at the bus after the show, and
Hmm.
I remember seeing, I think Ed's wife was there. I don't know. I don't know if all
Probably.
the
Yeah.
families, but I remember seeing Aaron with Ed, and I was like, it was cool. It was interesting. It was an interesting ride home discussion, that's for sure. After the fact, seeing all that on the stage, but I think I forget the opening band. It might have been Jimmy's Chicken Shack. I have
Could
Oh,
to
have
wow.
been.
check
Yeah.
that.
What year was that? 2000.
2000,
Yeah.
February 6th,
So that was
2000.
I got divorced in '99, and I was single until around 2002.
Yes.
And in that window of time, we all kind of went a little crazy.
As you should. As you should.
Hence the bras on stage. That was a new thing for us.
Now, Chad, was this at the point where you guys were all like, didn't you each have your own like tour bus, like to go on tour? It was
We
like,
never had well, at one point during maybe distance to here, Chad and Ed had their own buses because they
yeah.
wanted to bring out their families, and Pat and I were on a bus.
Oh,
So they had
okay.
like three buses, yeah, at that point.
I was gonna say that's crazy. I've never you always hear bands traveling on a bus. You guys had like two or three going.
Yeah, and like even like these last tours we did in 17, 18, 19, we had two buses, two band buses, so we could spread out and bring out families if they want to come out, kids and stuff. So,
Has your
but yeah, I mean, we were on one bus until let's see, probably most of Thorn Copper we were on one bus, and I think distance to here we had two band buses, and then we had three for distance to here. Never four though. Never each of us never had our own bus.
well, the good, that's a little excessive.
Yeah.
Have your kids ever come out or not, maybe not on stage, but side stage? Like, have they ever seen their dad like rocking out?
Oh yeah, yeah. There are a bunch of times in 17, 18, 19. Actually, my son turned 10. We were playing in Phoenix. His name is Phoenix. He turned 10
Wow.
on the day we played in Phoenix. So I
How
brought him on
cool.
stage, and it was the rare time where I got up to the front and took the mic and had the crowd sing happy birthday to him.
Yo,
Oh,
that's
cool,
Yeah.
cool.
So he was
Phoenix
excited
in
about that.
Phoenix, turning, on a birthday.
Yeah,
That's great, man. That's awesome.
10/21,
Rock on.
10/21/09. It's his birthday, and we were
The
there
Music
19.
Fest show in Bethlehem in 2017. All the family was there, John, and Ed had everybody come out at the end of the show, and everyone,
Yeah, we had
came
all the
out,
kids on
did the bow
stage.
together. Yeah,
Yes.
wives, kids, everyone was there across the front to take the bow. So that was cool.
Yeah.
As it should be. I mean, you guys, your fans kind of feel like your family, so it only makes sense to have your family actually come up on stage and, say hi to the people. The
That was the time.
the last show I went to, I guess the Ridgefield Regency, I believe it was Ed's son. I got to go hang out backstage with them, and Zach Lloyd brought me back there, but his son was behind the bar making people drinks. So I got up there just to like grab a drink, and Ed's son's like, "What can I get you?" I'm like, I'll just take a beer. Like I don't want you to have to mix a drink for me." But it was cool. He was getting involved, and he was personable and talking to everybody, and it was like a family affair back there.
Interesting. Cool.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. That was at the Ridgefield Regency. Oh, Wendell's song, Bill Hynes says Crying Time is called, I guess, Wendell's song, parentheses.
That was the original. Yeah, that was the original working title.
Ah.
Then we changed it to Crying Time with I guess it's in parentheses. Yeah, Wendell song.
Yeah, because that song could have been, in like in movies and TV shows, like that had real good like appeal that if it could have been like in a Party of Five scene or something like that. Like if you don't know what it's about, like it
Yeah.
just that vibe to it, that a lot of times music needs to grow on you. And there was
Mm-hmm.
a bunch of songs on the Gracious Few album that they didn't need to grow on you. The first time you heard it, you're like, that's awesome. And that was one of them for me.
Mm-hmm. It's a good record.
Cool. Yeah, it's a good record.
Yeah.
So,
Is have you talked to anybody from Candlebox since those days? Like, is Candlebox out doing stuff? Like, I don't even know.
Kevin still does Candlebox. It's just him. There's no original members. And I
Not
think
even
he's
Sean.
I think 23 was his he keeps threatening to retire and not do it again. So I think right now,
I believe he did.
yeah,
They're done.
I think
And
23 was it.
I saw a photo from him and his son in the golf cart saying retirement is good. They
Oh
were
wow.
out golfing. He had a big cigar in his mouth, and his son's all grown up, right? So they were in a golf cart golfing together. So I said,
Nice.
enjoy it. I'm
Heck
sure
yeah.
he'll scratch the itch when he's ready, right?
I'm
So
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
His wife is very successful. She makes some these crazy like really cool dresses that have like taken off in Hollywood and like all the stars wear them and stuff. So
Like the couture dresses, they're like handmade
no,
or
not couture, more like sundresses kind of thing.
ah.
And I think she's doing very well with it. So
Well, I think doesn't couture, I don't know. I'm not a fashionista or fashion whatever, but doesn't couture just mean handmade? Like I know that there's like juicy couture or something, but I think doesn't the word couture just mean like handmade? I don't know.
I don't know. I always I I liken it to like super high end fancy dresses. So
Right.
those are probably all handmade, which makes
Right.
sense.
Yeah. My feminine side is not cracked out to what it should be. I should know these things. Got the
Yeah.
long
So
hair. So Bob, did you actually start the Friends of Live Facebook fan page?
I did not.
You did not.
No, I did
Oh,
not. It started, I believe it came to be by some other fans. I think it might have been Ali Petchel,
okay.
and
mm,
it was right around the hiatus, I think, the first one. I did not start that. I've just been bequeathed the
yeah,
status of, and the Freaks for Live page was started after that page. That page came along during the Christian years, and they're both of them are same admin group, right? Just there was a second one started, and the original Friends Alive was there before I joined Facebook, I believe. So it's been there since '08 or '09. So
was
I'm pretty sure it's been handed around to different fans, and
Yeah, because I see
but
you
I did not start it.
You
Yeah,
post
what's
a lot
crazy
on.
about our socials is that right as we broke up is when social media started taking off. So like the live page on Facebook, I mean, I think it's pretty robust now, but at the time, it was pretty crappy. And Instagram were small. Like I think as far as live's concerned, like we as like, for all of our contemporaries, like they have way more fans on Instagram than live does. Like nowadays when you like book shows, like they'll say how many Instagram followers do you have, and they can never follow that metric with us because our Instagram page was way smaller than our actual draw for people
Right.
for shows. I think it's still like maybe 30,000 or something like that. It's ridiculous. Like it should be in the millions, but as I said, we broke up right as that shit started, and so no one was tending it.
Right. Right. Yeah, well, because I mean, when you sell 25 million records, you would think that your social media would reflect that. But like you said, you guys were not really up on it. And then it kind of blew up when you guys were on your little hiatus there.
Yeah,
So it wasn't, being handled the way it should have. Yeah, because that should be, you guys should have tons of fucking like Toad the Wet Sprocket could have more Instagram followers than
they
live.
may. Well, then
Live,
also throw in the confusion of the name live as well, so that fucking doesn't help us.
I was just gonna say that, dude.
Yeah, that's always been a problem, right? It's
Yes.
searching if you're trying to like that guy's who the Chameleon Show channel. I went to go through his channel to see if there are any other live concerts in there, and I know there's one, the Allentown '95 show, but trying to find it with the word live, or you got to do the band live. The your best bet is to say the band live in a
Right.
search.
Yes.
You'll
Right,
get something, but more than just the word live. So
right.
it's always been interesting.
Hmm. As I say, we named
But I
ourselves
wouldn't have
before the
I would
internet.
never have changed it. It works, man.
Oh
It's
It
yeah.
okay.
works on the artwork, the album covers. It works. So, don't change it, even
Well,
though
Mental
there's that
Jewelry got
drawback.
listed the first time Mental Jewelry was on the chart on the Billboard charts. It got listed reverse, so it was like Mental Jewelry was the band name and the record was
Oh,
called
really?
Live. Yeah,
Oh, how funny.
yeah. When we
Billboard
first
messed it
charted,
up.
yes, yeah, we were first charted because we remember looking at it going, "What the fuck? They fucked up. It says our name's Mental Jewelry."
Well, because it's such a cool name for a band, but then when the internet comes into play and you're searching for something, it'll pull up. You type in live whatever, live I alone. It might pull up like Aerosmith, Steven Tyler alone singing a live version of a song. You know what I'm saying? Like it
Oh
doesn't
yeah,
realize, like, I mean, no, the band live. And like Bob said, if you type in the band live, then it helps, but they got to make sure that they had like their metadata done properly to where that, because I kind of do that with stuff that I tag, is I put the band live, like I'll put that in like the
Yeah.
what how that shit is, the
Yep.
metadata.
You got to do it that way.
Yeah. But who would have
When you
thought?
guys decide to go to therapy and get back together and announce some shows, make sure you just put them out as the Body Odor Boys, right?
exactly.
Go to advertise with that name, and then have a
B.O.B.
have a play on with that, and then say, oh, by the way, this is live, right? Just to
I
put,
agree.
you know what I
Well,
mean? Do
yeah, when
Yeah.
something,
we
do a wrinkle like that, and then
if we
say,
come back together, it's definitely going to be therapy. I'm not doing it if we don't have fucking therapy.
As anybody should who has a relationship for that long, right? I mean, you can't just go through life just bumbling along. I mean, that's a lot of baggage and years and stuff. Like anybody needs therapy for, being together that long.
"Mhm,
Yeah, and especially all the shit that's happening with us. So
Right. And I said it on one other show, like, not many people, because I said these guys will never break up. They've been friends since, grade school, blah, blah, blah. But somebody said to me, like, well, who the hell are you friends with from grade school? And it like, think like, yeah, that's true. These guys who is still friends with people from grade school? Not many people. And the fact that you guys made it so long with just kind of going through life and not discussing the major things and stuff, because you were so young when fame and money were hitting you guys, that it was like, just kind of going through the motions and stuff, that you never really got to sit down and talk about all the real stuff and blah, 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 blah.
yeah,
I feel like if there was just one smart person, especially management, who said, hey, whoa, 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 guys, let's check our egos at the door here. Let's talk. Let's get
we
this thing going.
we never had like a manager like that. Our manager David Sustek, and we had co-managers, David Sustek and Peter Freeman. Peter Freeman died in 99, 2000, somewhere around there.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. But they weren't proactive managers, they were reactive managers. So it was, you didn't have someone like a Paul McGinnis or, who's U2's forever manager. Like we didn't have someone to guide us like that.
Right.
The management was spread out against other bands too, right, Chad? I mean, these guys were managing not just one or two bands. They had an umbrella of people that they would consider under their management umbrella. And some bands got favored more than others, right?
I mean, yes, we were the biggest band they had, but it just wasn't. I mean, I'm not blaming them. I'm just saying this wasn't their style to be proactive, to go.
Okay.
Like for instance, I mean, in fucking what is it, 96? When did Clinton get inaugurated? We got asked to play at the White House in like 96, and we're like, oh, we're too tired. Like our fucking manager should have been like,
get on that.
What the fuck are you doing?
That'd be like you're there, right? You say you show up on this date, and then realize where it is, right?
And yeah, we came to the end of 95 and we were fucking exhausted from touring for 18 or 20 months for Throwing Copper, and in the spring or maybe the early, like the winter, late winter, early spring, we were supposed to go out and do like a full-on arena tour. And we didn't want to do it because, we were tired. Our manager should have been like, go to a fucking island, take a private jet, like you have the fucking money. And then instead it was just like, oh, okay, they're tired. And like, I think it was like a $15 million or $20 million tour or something like that. And we were just like, nah, we're tired. It's like,
well, my question is,
we were 25 years old. It's like, you wish you had someone going, hey, idiots,
do this.
Shut the fuck up.
Right.
Go to the islands, take your girls, whatever the fuck you want to do, hire women, whatever the fuck it is.
Right.
Go down there and relax and then go do this fucking tour. Like, you'll be fine.
Well, that's my question. Like, was it the fact that you guys just became, again, not overnight, you were putting in your hours, but you guys went from relatively obscure band to like fucking all over the place, Rolling Stones, 95 Artists of the Year. Maybe management felt like beneath you guys and like they couldn't tell you what to do, even if that wasn't your sentiment at all. Maybe that's the way they felt. Like, dude, these guys are fucking over here, doing all this shit, playing the Video Music Awards and all stuff. Like, they're big. Maybe I can't tell them, hey, by the way, you should do this.
There could have been some of that. I don't think they were strong enough personalities to override because it was 4 against 1, 4 against 2,
right.
Right. Because when the 4 of us were like, nah, we're not fucking doing it. Like, there was not much changing our mind, but we needed someone stronger to fucking go, no, dumbasses, like, you should really do that. But whatever.
Can you play that, Bob? Because every time I go to play a clip, it doesn't allow me to do it. I mean, I'll try it, but every time I go to do it, it doesn't allow me to. Let me see if I can.
Let me see. He just sent me a link, but I can't. Let's see. He sent it to my phone, but I'm on a laptop here. I'm not. I don't have them clipped.
Try to do it. Just every time I go to do this, bad things happen.
Is it in the Facebook? Is it in the Facebook stream chat?
No, but here, you know what? I'm gonna copy it. I'm gonna try and play it, and if not, I'll put it in the chat, and then you could play it. But I'll try to do it first because I do have it up. Sorry, audience. We fly by the seat of our pants here. That's the beauty of a live show.
It's a cool video apparently. So it's a gracious few thing. So
share. All right.
Oh, is Bobby here? Bobby's here.
Bobby's been here. Yeah, he came in quietly.
Let's see if we can get audio.
Yeah. Is it play? Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
Uh-oh.
There you go.
Audio.
Yeah, we got audio. Yeah. Oh, that's Wendell. Yeah.
Did you ever want out of this life? Did you ever think about it, love, from time to time? Did you believe in everything they said? They're saying things I don't know. How did you get so far, my never shine. Did you ever feel less than low or more than high? Did I tell you I believed in everything they said? None of it true. I could have been a better friend to you. And all these memories, but you're still alone. Oh, and it's crying time, but there's still love. Oh, and I tried so hard to get to you. I know you never meant those things you've done. I never meant to leave you, but it's crying time, and there's still love. Oh, in these trying times, so hard for you. Oh, in these crying times, but there's still love.
Wow.
Cool. I'd never seen that. That was cool.
Me
Never
either.
saw it either. Excellent song. It's just, ugh. And John, in concert, man, just light socket. It's the like I said earlier, it's like you feel you get pins and needles on your arms and your back. Yeah,
Yeah.
that just when he gets into the solo and Hennessy solo, just man, it's like pure.
Well,
That's
now
pure
that
rock and roll.
now that I know what that song's about, I mean, it almost brings a tear to my eye watching that. I mean, it's, I didn't know what it was about. I knew it was a touching song, a sad song, but to watch that young man's life and he's not here anymore. It's very fitting that you guys put that in a song and paid such a good tribute to it because it did justice. It's a great tribute.
Cool,
So
cool.
thank you, Chad, for ripping up those drums there. I could
Got
imagine
it.
when Sean comes in during the concert with that solo. But wow, at least the guy looked like he lived a happy life, a full life for such a young, for taking so young. It looked like he at least enjoyed himself while he was here, which is key. I saw that picture with him and Slash. They kind of look like they could have been brothers at that point with the hair and that stuff, right? That was Slash, Bob, in that one.
Yeah, he's in there. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looked like Slash. Yeah,
Yeah. Wow, what a beautiful tribute that was. And I'm glad I got to learn what that song was about because I knew it meant something to me the first time I heard it, but never knew. So now I know. And Wendell, thank you for being you, man. And then I just want to uh repeat what that said at the end there for people who want to go to um that foundation or whatever.
Oh,
Guess I
looks
can't.
like I mean, Bill Hynes is texting me. He says he made that video.
Oh,
Yeah, Bill made the video. He told me.
I had
I
no
never,
fucking idea. I've never
I
seen
never
it.
saw it before. Yeah, I don't know.
well, thank you, Bill. And that website is wendellgreen.ning.com. So Wendell, WEENDELL, Green, GREEN.NING.com. And that's to join in the life celebration of our dude, Wendell Green. So yeah, go check that out, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I'm texting Bill. I'm like, how the fuck did you never show me this? Like, how did I never see this? Like, I can't believe he made it. It's fucking great. I mean, I guess he knew this guy Howie who played baseball with, who was friends with Wendell.
For all those Bill Hynes
How did I never know this story? It's fucking weird. But this is that is part and parcel of Bill. Like he will do shit and not try to take credit for it and not tell fucking people about it. He
Right.
donates to all these charities and shit. He's made out to be this fucking horrible fucking person. And he does all these things that are great that he's not doing it for like accolades and fucking attention. He's doing
Right.
it because he's a great guy. So anyway, it's just one of those
He's
things.
he's our Ralph Sorella for anybody who listens to the Howard Stern show. So Ralph was always known as like, a douchebag. People didn't like him, whatever. But you're starting to find out things in his death. Like he was at 9/11 the day after helping clean up and he was there for weeks and stuff like that. So for all the negative stuff said about Bill out there that's made public, there's a bunch of shit like this that nobody sees behind the scenes that really shows Bill's character. So, check out both sides of the coin before you make your opinion,
Yeah,
peeps.
exactly.
Don't just read the newspaper clippings because
The York newspaper.
God forbid we take that as the truth.
industry. They have a
Yeah.
cottage industry out of Bill Hynes at this point in fucking York on their fucking stupid paper. Ridiculous.
Right. I think without Bill Hynes, that York Dispatch or whatever the fuck it's called wouldn't have anything to write about.
Yeah.
The Gannett Group would probably close up shop on those two papers. Honestly,
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. But that's all right. He's gonna have his day in court. He'll show them all.
So, Bob, do you have anything you want the audience to know? Because we usually keep the show around this time. Anything you want the audience to know? Anything you want to ask Chad personally? Anything before we start to wrap it up?
Bob has my number. He can ask me anything he ever wants.
Well, I mean, if he wants to
But
ask
publicly, go ahead. We got
yeah.
Bob.
I think maybe the only thing that I have pressing would be is when we'll see what happens with the going forward of the band, right? And just digest what happens and let it be real, right? Understand that it's very complicated
Yeah.
what's going on, and it's not your run of the mill. And honestly, if you equate it to some of the other big bands that have their issues and you don't really hear about it, it goes in the press and you hear one side, the other side. At the end of the day, just these people are real. They have families. They're real people. They're not just your idols out there. And just let things happen naturally, and then see what happens in the future, and just let it just happen.
Well
So
put.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, the fans start riling each other up, taking sides and stuff. This is not something where anybody needs to take sides, like you said. This is something where you need to let stuff lie, and time will tell where this goes from here. But
and I was guilty of taking sides a long time ago too. So I mean, I got rolled into that and saw one side, and the other side did not speak out and really tell the truth, but it was just put forth as, oh, it's this and this is the truth, right? Well, we know how that is, right? So you come to learn what's really happened, and
right.
who's responsible or who's had more of a say in putting that message out versus what should have been either cleared up earlier or it's just, as you get older and more wiser, you learn where to make your bed, I guess, or learn how to be, above the fray. So, and
Yeah. And
I
I'll take, I
apologize
mean,
to
I'll take
Ed
a little
too. I know that.
responsibility for
So
that too. I'll take a little
yeah,
responsibility for that too. I was being manipulated in ways I didn't understand, and that's not going to happen to me anymore.
Right.
So, and I'll tell you the objective truth as far as I know it when I see it. But I'll just
yeah,
say that I was being manipulated in ways I didn't understand, and I totally understand now, and I won't fucking let it happen to me again.
And
yeah.
life is too short, right? I mean, you say this all the time, but people end up living with regret. Like, oh, I should have done this before that happened. Just Wendell's a perfect excuse, man. I'm sure nobody, saw that coming. And then, by sure it did. So, I mean, just God forbid something were to happen to, one of you four from growing up. Like, is the stuff that, brought you guys to where you're at today, is it that important? Is it, to where those friendships are no longer what they once were? So again, it's none of our business, it's all on your time, but just to put that out there is like, life is short, and to live with animosity and regret is not the way to do it, because at some point it'll catch up to you and you'll be like, shit, I really should have reached out and told this person I love them, or I should have said I was sorry for this and that. So that's just my little PSA for the day. I don't live that way either. It's easier to say than to do, but it really is true. You never know when things are going to end, or when you won't have a chance to say what you really wanted to say, and then you have to hold it in for the rest of your life. So just keep that in mind, peeps.
Yeah,
Well said.
life's short. And with that, Happy New Year, guys. Appreciate the time.
Hey,
Yes.
thank you, Bob. It's
And,
great.
All right.
Do it again.
Keep it real.
Of
We'll have you on
course.
again for sure. We know you got a lot more to talk about. I do end up monopolizing some of the guests' time. I apologize, but
No,
yeah.
it's quite fine. I prefer to be quiet, but
Oh,
And I think Bill's here with my cocktail sauce.
yeah.
oh,
Next week, Chad, bring on the bottle so we could show people what they're missing for when Bob releases it to the masses. They could say, "There, I saw it on the Gracious too."
I gotta go get some shrimp.
Bobby Hayes, why don't you come off and say goodbye and happy holidays, everybody, rather than through the chat. And from myself, I want to say happy holidays. Hope 2023 treated everybody well. 2024 will be even better for the Gracious 2 fans out there. We got a lot of stuff planned, a lot of cool, fun stuff that we're keeping close to the chest right now, but we'll be going full steam ahead once we got everything laid out there. But thank you guys for coming on this ride with us, and it's only going to get faster and bumpier, so be prepared.
Thank
What
you,
John
everybody.
said.
bye, everybody.
Hey.
Thanks.
Thank you, everybody. Happy holidays, everybody. Hope everybody has a great time. Hope everybody enjoys your 2024.
Yes.
Thanks, sir. Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Bob,
Bye.
real quick, Bob Zazzera,
Yes.
do you want anybody to find you on social media, or
No.
Okay, cool.
No.
I love
So-
it.
No. I'm only there for those fan pages only. I'm pretty devoid of anything personal on there. Right. I'm out.
It makes
Nice.
sense.
Good for you.
Ladies and
I
gentlemen.
have nothing to offer.
Oh, stop it.
Come on now.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Bye.
Again. We'll see you next week. Hasta la vista.